put my, I'll put my other screen as what I'm sharing so you can look at it.
Already, I'll
And,
make you a co-host. There you
yep,
go.
you
You're a
got it. You got it.
co-host. Yep. Also make Dan a, co-host as well. Daniel,
Okay.
sorry.
Yep. No, Dan's fine.
Dan's fine. Okay.
Unless you're mad at me, then you can call me Daniel.
Can
Daniel
you
won
see,
it.
Exactly.
can you see my cursor on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So the meeting tonight is about choosing ProRate Energy mission. And
Well,
so
not, yeah. You said choosing, but it's really creating a mission
Well,
statement.
I wanted to also mention we worked for a few years on this back in from
what'd you say?
2019 to
What?
2021.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What'd you say, Brendan?
Oh well, Daniel said it's more creating than choosing, is what Daniel said.
It's
Dan said.
okay with me. I don't think we have a complete list, so you're right. We're
Well, and then
creating.
the thing I wanted to mention is back in 2019 to 2021, we actually worked on this and went to the Idea Village with some consultants and so we definitely have some scripting already, but that was back when we just focused on rate design. And it sounds like maybe ProRate's energy mission, since we participated in so many different dockets, should be more um,
And that's a really good
widespread than just
question.
pricing rate
That's
structures.
one of the first questions we're going to have to discuss, whether or not we're going to consider our efforts outside of promoting prorate as our mission or not. And I actually vote for doing that, but I can see why maybe I should be outvoted. So let me just clarify the question. Okay. So when I sent the first email out, which was um, on Christmas, December 25th, I said, okay, well, this will be our call to the meeting. And I wanted to give people a context as to why this was not trivial, what we decided to use as a mission statement, like Brendan just said, because we are not necessarily only about prorate energy. I say we are not just about only promoting the rate design called prorate. So I actually provided an argument, which I'm going to skim over now. So I suggested that we could call engage the market to slow climate change as a starting point for a mission statement. And then I thought, well, maybe evolve the market to slow climate change might be better, not much difference.
How about a full sentence?
Say it again.
How about a complete sentence?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And
We
as
will
we
or
get further
something.
down this, you'll see that when Richard Troy chimed in, he thought we should look for a slogan versus a sentence. So we're going to be talking about what's smarter in a short while. Anyway, I don't think that anyone thinks these particular choices are the choice. It's just a starting point. Then I also wanted to point out that similar kinds of things like mission statements were created in order to do certain things. For example, when I created this change.org petition, and I'm not going to go to it because it's a long excursion to the side, but this could be a mission statement. Lower New Orleans electricity prices, the slow global climate change, and create self-reliance. That's what I called that particular petition, and that could be a mission statement. And then Brendan and a few others and me and Richard Troy as well worked on this document, which was published by Wiley. And I'm not going to go there again. It's going to take us off on a tangent. But inside that document, there's this couple of long sentences here, which is not really mission statement. It's way too long, but maybe encompasses a key idea. So customers will find new ways, think software, hardware, and aggregation services to provide and for and accomplish this increasingly lower cost to at increasingly lower cost to themselves and thereby make a profit for themselves and the companies who innovate or provide these technologies while at the same time lower the wholesale electricity price for everyone. Were it possible to pay customers for providing the service at almost precisely the same value of the cost shift avoided, and do this in a steady enough fashion to provide reliable annual cash flows, this should be expected to create a mass market sufficient to encourage businesses to jump in and finance the deepest investments in DERs. distributed energy resources, all of which can be expected to happen at the normal speed of innovation, which is actually quite rapid. And at no cost to ratepayers, ProRate can make this happen. So this is way longer than a mission statement, but way shorter than anything I write. So it's, worthy of talking about. And then, so now we get into the point where Brendan posed, should we be talking about only ProRate or a broader set of subjects that we did? And the word we here isn't necessarily as ProRate Energy, although some of the things we did as ProRate Energy. And so I suggested that instead of just looking at what we did since we came into existence, which is around 2020, about 5 years ago, we should look at what some of the people in this group did. And I can actually name some of the people who did some of these things. So looking at past and future accomplishments and what we plan on doing might be closer to what should be the mission statement. So should we include all of it? So in 1983 and 85, I, together with 3 others, created the Get NOPSI Back referenda, and we won eventually in 2005 with the goal of returning regulatory control to our city utility, to our city council. We did that. And then after the 85 referendum, we created a organization that would extend that success. That happens to be the Alliance for Affordable Energy. And then, but dropping names isn't that important. We promoted energy efficiency in residences and via utility programs at the city, state, and industry at both the federal and international levels. And for me, I was actually nominated to be on the board of the ProRate board of directors of ResNet. And since we did a conference event for ResNet's conference in 2019 in New Orleans, I think some people in this group know how prestigious and big ResNet is. So we reached a certain level of competence. And Dan and I were on the team that was selected by the City Council of New Orleans to run their demand side management program. That was called New Orleans Energy Efficiency Programs, with a few others. Also, in 2006 and 2007, we introduced these 4 ideas in the New Orleans Energy Policy Task Force. Press Kavikoff was more prominently led that. And among our things that we recommended, which was not known or used in New Orleans, was community solar, time of use rates, integrated resource planning, and the idea of a building science center. The only one of those 4 things, but actually there was a list of 10, but only one of those 10 things that were actually accepted by the council was integrated resource planning. Although community solar and time of use rates were considered in subsequent many years. In 2014, I promoted load flexibility at a conference, which is actually a really big deal, but anyway, I don't know.
What was that, the Iowa one? Sustainability?
That's the one it was in St. Louis. It was the conference in 2014. There was another one. But it doesn't have any simple tagline keyword that you would add to this thing. But you're right, we did that. In 2015, we proposed adding batteries to rooftop solar in order to improve the economics. So it's like installing solar at less than $1 a watt, which was a goal of DOE Sunshine Initiative. And among the people who did that, I did that with Dick Troy and about 4 other people, and we made that submission. And I don't want to give the long story, so we did it, but you can imagine in 2015, people didn't think it was obvious and necessary and appropriate to have batteries with solar power, and now it seems obvious to everyone. In 2016, I introduced through Building Science Innovators and Norman Whitriall, my partner in that company, we intervened in the integrated resource planning docket, and we promoted 3 pilots, which all used CLEP, and one of them was on community solar, but one of them, and the reason why it's worth mentioning now, is almost identical to what was passed almost 2 weeks ago today, where Entergy would invest $10,000 in each of 1,000 homes to create a centrally orchestrated virtual power plant. That would be, and we recommended that then, but it was summarily rejected because ENO wanted to build NOPS, the New Orleans Power Station. But anyway, that same idea was pretty much rubber stamped by the city council 2 weeks ago. And so but we proposed this because it would provide the same benefits as the New Orleans Power Station, but
Myron,
faster, cheaper, and safer. Yes.
I'm curious what Brendan mentioned when you all worked on a mission statement with um,
The
professionals.
idea village.
Idea
Yeah,
Village.
the idea village is in
Can
New
we get to
Orleans.
that? Because none
Yeah.
of this is mission statement.
Yeah, this is
The
sort of
only
our history,
reason
which is nice, but a mission statement isn't
you're
necessarily
right, it's not the
descriptive.
mission
Yeah.
statement. You're absolutely right. But actually, I only have one more thing to say because this is what we're trying to do now. We're trying to fund the bridge to the future, which would change the way the utility is incentivized. Okay. So
Yeah.
if we consider this scope of stuff,
I'd also like to welcome Mario to the meeting
oh,
as
Mario,
well.
hello, Mario.
Hi, Mario.
Hey,
Mario's,
sorry. Hey, yeah, I jumped on. I am just trying to listen and absorb.
Oh, excellent,
Uh,
excellent.
we're glad to have you.
If it's okay,
no,
Mario, we're recording the meeting as well. I always like announcing that when people hop
no,
on, if
I
that's
saw
okay.
that, but thank you for announcing that. And I'll go back to just digesting.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
And let us know if feel free to stop us if you
Right.
comments, questions, or anything to
So
add.
just to
But
clarify, at this particular point, we're talking about whether our mission should be focused on their primary goal of promoting prorate as a rate design, or the whole scope of this stuff that's been various efforts of various people who are in our leadership, but weren't all done in the name of prorate energy at the time they were done.
So,
And of course, this is
Myron, the mission of an organization may not exactly be what a mission statement is. But my
let's
question is again, can we bring up the uh, mission statements that were helped being written by these experts who do that?
I don't think that happened. Brendan, you
so sure. So Cynthia Schmidt, who used to be on our board of directors back in 2020, her, myself, and there was one more person. Do you remember the third person? Oh, I remember it was the that senior lawyer for the city
Tommy
council.
Milner.
Tommy Milner, yes, yes, a lawyer, Tommy Milner. We spent, I think it was 6 week nights on Wednesdays at the Idea Village in downtown New Orleans in the CBD, and we would work with basically other company startups in terms of defining, who our customer is. Is it the public utility? Is it the ratepayer? Is it members of the city council, or is it the general public? And then we worked on how do we communicate some of our the product, which we've basically been interveners on dockets, various dockets for many years, as Myron's pointing out, and then we were crafting mission, vision, and values. So over the last 5 years, really between 2020 and 2022, there have been lots of sort of suggestions each year at how to make it dynamic but poignant in sculpting, communicating prorates, all of our efforts, so it didn't seem so hodgepodge.
I don't want to
So
make
it's also meant to be an elevator pitch. You know, if it's someone
Yeah,
you run into in the elevator and you got 30 seconds to say what prorate is, you should be able to say it in, 15 seconds.
okay. I want
exactly.
you to
And
know
well,
that
if it's okay, Myron, just one more thing. Simon Sinek in his book Start with Why. A lot of people, when they say, "What is your business?" they'll think about what they do, and they'll say, "Oh, we're Apple. Oh, we're a hardware company and we make computers and some software, right?" But it's not very inspiring, and it doesn't quite get across how we differentiate ourselves from, let's say, other interveners on dockets working in environmental efficiency. Instead, what you might say is something like, "We innovate on, how customers communicate with each other through a variety of innovative technologies, right? That's a more poignant one. But I'm only bringing this up to think of when we're going over what our mission is, think about the why. Start with that why as a core, and then we can build out with all the descriptions of all the things over the decades we've been doing, rather than starting out with a description, which is what a lot of businesses do, and then they just they don't necessarily have a why or a mission that stands out.
Yeah,
I don't want
just
to I don't want to step on anyone. I just want to say that
Oh, you're good. You're good.
a lot of effort was done to write what I'm showing you. And I'm not saying it vetoes this conversation, but it gives us some text from which we could pull. And I just want to say this particular content was placed on our Give NOLA Day page, okay?
Sure.
And the Give NOLA Day was another fundraising effort. And this is a quote from the Give NOLA Day page from last year. And it says, ProRate Energy's mission is to advocate for an advanced electric rate design to create a greener and more fair and just world. And then it says, we align, it's the key word that we've used in some of our presentations, the financial interests of electricity generators, utility operators, and customers to successfully integrate renewable energy resources, or it should say resource. Anyway, so, and we work toward this mission by backing three primary strategies: ProRate rate design, rooftop community solar, and performance-based regulation. These are the ideas that had bubbled up to high on our list by spring of last year when we had to fill out our Give NOLA Day page. Okay.
And just to clarify, this also looks like a condensed version of what I attached in the chat log, which is the April 10th mission from 2024. And so this is just sort of a condensed version of
Right.
the longer one. But
If you
thank you.
were actually to go to the Give NOLA Day page, which I can do right now, but this thing, if you hit control button and you click on it, it goes to a web page.
Oh, hyperlink, yeah.
It'll hyperlink to it, and I don't know, it's not, here it is. There it is. See, that's the ProRate Energy Give NOLA Day page. And the mission statement is somewhere in here. Overview, I think, in its mission statement. Anyway, here it is. There it is, the mission statement right there. And this is exactly what I just read to you that
Sure.
the AI program found. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to where we were. If I can figure out where we were. Okay, so anyway, so then there's also the ProRate Energy website, which is very poor graphically but high on content, and some of that content was pulled in by the AI program. And this is ProRate Energy's homepage, and for a
The
while
science
it
tools
was
one, yeah.
hosted at ProRate at sciencetools.com. We're moving it to another domain. We also have a lot of committee meetings, like this one. We put it into a big place on YouTube, and you can go on YouTube and you can see our various meetings, which is a lot of graphic stuff. Okay. Oh,
And that's even separate. I also pull apart the research presentation portions. We've had visiting guest
right.
educational webinars on different topics. So
So anyway, I don't want to kill us with all this content. I'm just trying to give you an overview of what we have to play with. Now, I did get some comments. So Christopher Faust wrote, he thinks the mission statement should be empowering the citizens of New Orleans to empower their own lives. Short and sweet. Okay. And over
yeah,
here, what Tom Stanton said. He said to me, I appreciate this effort. I suggest you use engaging where I had engage at the beginning.
engage the marketplace. Yeah.
Instead of engage, and says engaging, and the word market might be plural instead of market, say the markets. But anyway, one of the ways he came to put things together was this way: engaging energy choice, citizenship, and democracy too. And then he sort of thinks growing commonwealth versus slowing climate change. He thinks
Well,
this is
yeah.
better than that. Okay. So anyway, and then finally, I want to tell you the long assertion by Richard Troy, which was made the day after I made the first post. And he sent
Sure.
it to ProRate Energy, and anyone could have read it. But he has some really good points. He thinks if you make the sentence too long, it's not going to do the job you want. You need something more like a short clip versus a long sentence. It says, but he likes certain things. For example, Federal Express, when absolutely positively has to be there overnight, is a really good one. He also liked this one. There was a vacuum cleaner company called Vax. His mission statement was, "Nothing sucks like a Vax." Okay, which is really true. However, there was a computer called Vax, and people who worked on the computer put that sticker on their computer because they didn't like it. But it was cute. And he also came up with engaging and aligning market forces for cheaper electricity and cheaper environment, or the electricity rate that lowers prices and increases profits, or enables and encourages individual autonomy to lower electricity prices, or improving equity, reliability, and sustainability. Notice every one of Richard's suggestions assumes that all we're going to do is promote prorate, the rate design. That's not so bad, but that's how it's focused. Okay. And
We
then
could just say something like through rate design and other
it could be, right.
modes or
And so
something.
he also decided he couldn't
You know,
have.
I think if you just take that word rate design and ask 100 people what that means, I bet you one person out of 100 is going to know
I
anything
agree
about
with you.
rate
I
design.
agree with you, Dan.
Yeah.
I agree
You're
with
in
you.
the elevator and you're talking to regular people. You're not talking to utility experts.
Okay, now here's what
Trying
Oh,
to
you say
raise
pricing
money.
rate structure helps clarify when I say
this is what
pricing.
this is what Troy thinks of Myron's opinion about how to describe prorate. He says, prorate, the electricity rate design that will confuse you with math, bore you with things you don't know, and you need to know about, and leave you wondering why you just wasted 5 minutes not improving your understanding of what anything's about. Okay, but he
I'm
likes
glad that
to
I
put.
think fun should be one of our values though,
Okay, so
because
anyway,
that
I
has
wanted
been
to send
present.
this to you
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think what you've got here is a smattering of people who care. We're trying to give us some good suggestions, and I don't have any. I have a dog in the fight, but I don't really care how it wins. I just want to get us talking about it, and I think we should consider what Troy said is that the shorter is better, and maybe we don't really want a sentence. We just want something simple like when it absolutely must be there the next night. Okay.
The comment about the tree graphic at the bottom, I can take it upon myself to improve that.
Okay, but anyway, so we now have some fodder to think about. And I don't want to veto anyone's thoughts about how we should go forward with this, but hopefully this will stimulate what people think. And do you see anything you'd like to take off from? Okay.
No, I do have a question though. Is that 72.3 thousand in your inbox? Are those unread or read?
Oh, I read some and I don't bother deleting anything. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
okay, but I
I
do
almost had
want
a
to say
little heart palpitation there seeing all those
in
unread.
response to what Tom Stanton, I have a lot of respect for what Tom Stanton um thinks.
Yeah.
And Tom Stanton wrote that thing about using engaging versus I suggested this engaging markets and slow climate change. So he would I think we should use engaging markets and end with slow climate change. And the reason why he didn't like slow climate change is because he doesn't think climate change has the broad concern of the world like it used to. And there are a lot of people who have different problems, but I don't agree with that because this is New Orleans. New Orleans' very existence depends on slowing or stopping sea level rise. So from the point of view of New Orleans, I think slow climate change is existential risk. So therefore, I would suggest, although I'm not going to fall on the sword to get my solution, but I think this is closer to what we want.
Well, climate change was a better option than some of our original ones years ago. You know, the climate crisis is what we used to call it, global warming, climate emergency. But climate change, I think, I don't think it's a term that's fallen out of use in terms of communicating.
And the other thing is that even if you don't live on the coast, you're threatened by fires and
Oh,
floods
yeah.
and windstorms everywhere you live in this world. I mean, Israel's having floods like what? And they're having floods in Los Angeles right now. And so I don't, what encompasses all those threats better than climate change. So that's why I think it makes sense, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can
Maybe
I
us. Oh, go
can I
ahead.
just
Yes.
read Rocky Mountain Institute's mission?
Sure.
Rocky Mountain Institute's mission is to transform the global energy system to create a clean, prosperous, and secure zero-carbon future for all, working with businesses, communities, and governments to accelerate market-based solutions like efficiency and renewable energy adoption. They aim to move from fossil fuels to sustainable energy through innovation, investment, and policy, ensuring the transition is also equitable and just for all communities.
Well, I wouldn't have any problem with that, except it's a little long. And I really, I mean, Amy Levin slept in my house. I mean, we are really aligned on things. Not only one time, but I've known her a really long time. When my son was 10 years old, he slept in the same room with Julian. But anyway, I've known him a long time. I'm very much on line with him. We are not at the level of the complexity and competence of RMI. And I don't mind. I mean, I'm delighted to be like them, but we need something short. What I have highlighted on the screen is maybe even longer than we need. If you take Richard Troy's approach, then we need something short.
I did like the third option Richard has suggested. We went over three suggestions. I like his third one.
Well, let's go take a look
Let
at it.
me just back up and just tell you one thing. Their mission is simply to transform the global energy system to secure a clean, prosperous, zero-carbon future for all.
I like that focus on carbon because we do focus on reducing carbon.
It's really just that one sentence. It's not that whole thing. It was just, it goes on if you want it to go on. To transform the global energy system to secure a clean, prosperous, zero-carbon future for all.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, even our focus in collaborating with, whether it's community solar, rooftop solar, some of the other ones, ultimately it's moving towards greener energy and reducing carbon. I do like to focus on reducing carbon because that's one of the main
I don't have
environmental
a problem with that.
the redesign.
And wonder whether we should use something that's so much theirs, we make it ours.
No, I'm just using it as an example of a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
When you say ProRate Energy as the name of the group, does that describe the group?
It describes the group, but it's also the name of the rate design. So that's also some of the
Well,
confusion that people have. ProRate's
ProRate's the name of the rate design, but why is it ProRate Energy? It makes it sound like we're, Entergy or
I'll answer
Delta.
the question. Dan, the reason why the word energy became part of the name is because for a couple of years, we chose and implemented that our domain name was going to be prorate.energy. Energy is a very expensive domain name for a very low.
All right, but why is it the name of the group?
I think it's because it focused in that industry as well. We wanted something that was broad enough that covered all sorts of opportunities to collaborate within that area.
That's where the name comes from. There maybe could have been a better answer, but that's the answer.
Yeah, it just sounds like a utility company.
Well, I'll tell you, I was on
Yeah, I kind of get that
I
feeling.
was in the 5-person team that chose the name for the Alliance for Affordable Energy, and I did not vote for that name. I was outvoted 3-2. And the name I wanted was Least Cost Energy Services. And they wanted affordable energy. And that's what won. And no matter either name would have been not as much as they wanted to do. But it's
Least
just a
cost
vote. We had
energy
to make
service.
one decision. That's what you got.
I'll be
Dan,
right back. One sec.
Thank
okay.
you.
So whatever, I think that one thing that I would like to accomplish in the name choice is distinguish it from the Alliance, not because I hate the Alliance at all. I think Alliance does great work,
Yeah.
but we are different from them in some important ways. We came up with ideas that they didn't think of until a decade later, whether it was energy efficiency programs, integrated resource planning, community solar. We initiated those ideas. In fact, the very thing that was cited 2 weeks ago was first proposed by our predecessor, Building Science Innovators, in 2016, namely a virtual peaking plant of batteries, 1,000 batteries each with 10 kilowatt hours. that was proposed and placed into the docket integrated resource planning process in 2016.
So you
And
think they stole it from you?
nobody stole it from us. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the Alliance didn't come up with that. They didn't come up with community solar. They didn't come up with integrated resource planning.
You didn't
Our
come up with a rate design. You came up with a unique rate design, but it's not like
I'm not saying how important it is. I don't know how important it is. But I'm saying we took a more proactive, innovative approach than they did. We also, another thing that we did that they don't do is that we're looking at it from a more global perspective. We aren't looking for solutions that only work in New Orleans. We're not looking for solutions that can only be done when we have a certain economic windfall. We're looking for solutions that are going to continue to be useful. They're going to extend beyond New Orleans. They're going to not depend upon a windfall, depend on a political situation.
Myron,
Yes, Sharon.
excuse me, in all due respect, you're just going on and on and on and on. Why don't you come up with some favorite mission statements and have people vote on them or something instead of going all over the place? I don't know. I don't know what the choices are because you've put forth so much material here that how can you pare it down to what the mission statement's going to be?
Okay. I don't mind, Sharon, you stepping in. Somebody else want to
So,
suggest?
well, what I'm hearing, Sharon, and let me know if this is incorrect. Maybe the output of this meeting in particular, in a sort of workshop fashion, in the next 20 minutes or so, should be several. Sorry, there was a little bit of a lag. Several sentences in terms of directions of our mission statement that we can either kick back to the ProRate discussions email or bring to the board of directors and a broader audience to vote on.
Well,
But
maybe everybody can, since you went over a lot of material, everyone can say, hey, this is my favorite or my few favorites of the ones that you've covered.
sure,
This is what I like. And then either use it as a model or whatever.
Well, one thing that I would like to do is make a decision whether or not we're looking for a name that promotes prorate and nothing else, or promotes the expansion of what ProRate Energy does beyond prorate. I mean, that's something we can
well,
decide.
I would say it has to be broader because prorate has never been realized. It's just an idea.
Right. I
well,
think,
pieces of it have been implemented in different places, but the amalgamation of the whole solution hasn't.
okay. I think we should adopt the idea that our mission statement, I think what I just said, Dan agrees with, and is that we should look for a mission that incorporates not just prorate, but many or all the other things we are doing or have done.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think what Brendan said, like you could say that ProRate are a group of innovators who, are doing all these things, but we're not going to talk about the what's, but I
Yeah,
think talk more about the whys. We're a group of innovators to, stop climate change.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, just at the
I
end of
have
the
a
day,
suggestion.
you keep talking about all the innovations that you've put forth. That's what ProRate Energy is. It's a group of innovators, working towards a goal.
Yeah. Richard Jenkins, you said you had a suggestion as
Yeah,
well?
I do have a suggestion, and this has to do with teaching business communication for 14 years.
Hmm.
The mission statement, if prorate needs to be in there, one approach is that prorate promotes solar energy to slow climate change. Try to keep it down to 6 or 7 words. Mission statements, some mission statements, the best ones are 4 to 5 words.
Instead of solar, I'd just expand it by saying innovative energy solution.
Yeah.
Renewable.
Renewable, yeah.
All right,
Excellent.
renewable.
Renewable solutions, yeah.
Well, another word that's catch-all is distributed energy resources because it includes batteries and solar.
No one
And
knows what distributed
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
energy
you
say
can't put
resources
that.
that's what I
are.
was going to say. As a non-expert,
DER,
that's renewable is something that everybody understands.
renewable, yeah. And we can always say DER and dockets, that sort of
I
stuff.
just
But
want to say something. I was reading an article today that was published by Brattle, which is a very famous utility consulting firm. And they said you can't spell DER without spelling DR, which is demand response. DER comes out of demand, distributed energy resources. And what the city council voted on 2 weeks ago was a DR, just demand response program, in order to create a distributed energy consequence. So
You're
it's a
getting off
play
the
on
track.
words, but because we can't get either of those words understood by a person who would read it for the first time, we can't use either of it. But I'm just saying, it's an interesting play on words. But anyway, so if we say renewable energy, it limits what we're doing. But on the other hand, what can you say in 6 words, right?
I do want to say I like the word promotes.
yeah.
That Richard, is that Richard Mayhor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Richard Jenkins, yeah.
it's
Richard
already in there.
Jenkins. His wife's
The word's
name.
already written in there. It's just a useful word.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Richard?
Promote or promoting are useful words
Yeah,
as to a mission statement. That's what you're doing. That's your
promoting
purpose.
it, yeah. Yeah, I like positivity in general when communicating about a solution. It's easy to think, well, if we put down alternatives, it's going to make us look good, but it does the opposite. If we talk about how other solutions don't work, it's good for us by putting a positive image out here of what do we bring that's unique. Yeah,
How about promoting a cleaner environment by
promotes. Yeah.
gauging market forces?
Maybe you could say something like promotes the most innovative or the most, make it, like you're narrowing it down.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
think
promoting
I
all
wouldn't
of
say
it.
the
McDonald's
most.
burgers are better than Burger King's burgers. You can't say the most or the best.
Yeah.
No, but I don't mean the best. I mean, out
Well,
of
you
all the
said the most.
solutions, I know, okay, I don't mean that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many solutions now. I mean, there's quite a few. So how do you settle on
I'd
them?
just say
How
it's
are you going to
innovative.
decide
Yeah.
which ones to promote? So
Effective, maybe.
the something solutions,
Yeah, effective
Innovative
is
and
good.
effective.
the
Yeah.
most realistic, I don't know,
Effective,
effective. Yeah, effective. I like that.
solutions or
I just think we have a track record of being very creative and
we do.
finding solutions where other people didn't realize what there were problems. Okay, like nobody knew that solar panels needed batteries, and now everyone knows it. Okay, and no
It's
one
not
knew
part of
that.
a mission statement, though.
I know, but I'm saying that's you can't put that detail in the mission statement,
No,
but it
but
shows that we're creative. Okay,
it's good. Promotes the most effective or something like that solutions to slow climate change or
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a start. Maybe that's not the best way to put it, but that is what you do. Because I always was trying to think of what does ProRate do? Well, it educates, but you try to do more than
It
educate.
educates, innovates.
you could just
I
put.
mean, yeah, those could be values as well. We could have 3 to 5 values.
I want to put
I like promote.
I want to put one thing on the table that we may not even be able to weave in, but the project that we're doing with Kay and Mario is to, among other things, sell the city council that we change the way the utility is remunerated, is how it's paid back. So it has an incentive to give us better performance and gets more profit from that. That's an innovative idea. Didn't grow up in New Orleans. It grew up in a few places in the world, but it has not been hardly anywhere implemented in the United States. And trying to get performance-based regulation has a tremendous potential for opening up all these innovations to become real as opposed to stuck behind a brick wall because the utility is not going to do it because it doesn't pay them. So I didn't say that because I want to sell that in this group. I just said it because I want you to think about that as being encompassed in the mission statement we're proposing.
Cool. I just give some suggested values in the chat as well. Engages, educates, and innovates. Or maybe collaborates instead of engages. Okay.
I'm gonna take what Brendan just wrote and throw it in this document.
Sure.
So you can see it. So, and then I'll save it, and then later I can send this to everybody. So, suggestion for 2020 mission, ProRate invents ways to pay use to slow climate change. Okay, because cheaper electricity is usually lower carbon. A rate design lets you realize 60% savings as you go about your daily routine while using energy when it's cheaper, avoiding peak demands and buying electricity at half the price from community solar farm. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get some real ideas on the table and discern which one's most appreciated. So we have, I really don't know how to be the master of ceremonies here. If someone else wants to take over, you can do it. But do you think we should make a list of keywords like empowers, engages, invites as a beginning sentence, or it really has to be a single sentence that pulls together?
Sure. Here's a missions statement that I just threw in there, and you can copy and paste that in. And then we can, chop it up a little bit or replace different words. Somebody
Okay.
had something other than innovative energy solutions, but I forgot what it was. Maybe innovative, efficient energy solutions or energy related solutions. I don't know.
Okay, so if we were to take Tom Stanton's recommendation from this, you would change it slightly.
Yeah.
He doesn't particularly like climate change, but we'll not give him that one. But the way we would change it slightly would be like this. It would be engaging markets.
Yeah. I don't know why I made it title case. It just seemed
Sure.
seemed like
The comma and while engaging doesn't work. It just needs to be promotes innovative energy solutions
that
that
engage
engage the
Yeah.
marketplace to slow climate change.
that engage the market.
That engages markets.
Yeah. Excellent. That instead of the yeah.
Are we moving toward consensus?
Just engage markets, right? Instead of engages. Or that engage markets. Yeah.
ProRate Energy, not ProRate.
Energy. Do we need an ink at the end? I know it is on the official documents, but
ProRate Energy promotes innovative solutions. You don't need energy twice. That engage markets to slow climate change.
yeah. And then I don't know why I made it title case. It seemed appropriate, but
That's okay.
feel free to put it into, normal.
Well, it's a Word document, so we can easily do that.
Oh,
And then just put some capital letters here and there.
sure. So for prorate, we're also going to capitalize the R in prorate, I think, the
Correct,
second
right.
R.
That's
Yeah.
a key thing, right?
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay,
I'm putting one in the chat. It's
Right.
a what, sort of, but it describes the mission.
okay.
I'll read it. ProRate Energy is a group of innovators who design and promote systems to reduce climate change.
I like that. Yeah. Systems compared to solutions. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Just sounds a little more scientific, but I like solutions better.
Okay.
Instead of markets, could you say engage the business community or engage the business sector?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure people know what markets mean. They sort of
No
know.
one knows what the marketplace is.
Yeah.
But
How about the
we also-
business sector or the commercial sector? or something, you
Well,
know.
we also want to engage ratepayers though in the community. We don't want us to
That's,
think of
that's,
customers only the
that's everybody.
yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
Everybody's a
I was wondering
ratepayer.
if we could change these three words into a single verb. Are innovators, ProRate Energy are innovators, or is innovators.
Involves um
What you do is take out is a group of and just say ProRate Energy Innovators design and promote solutions
yeah, that's excellent. Yeah. Innovators.
I
Yeah.
like that. Maybe,
and get the who out of there.
yeah,
Oh wow, that is clean.
I like
Thank you,
that.
Richard Jenkins. That is amazing.
See, we knew you could do it, Richard.
14 years of
I
business
had to
school.
put
Right there.
254 students every semester for 14 years doing a mission statement in a
Oh
business
my
event.
goodness. Oh boy.
That's why I have Alzheimer's, I think.
By the way, Mario, you can jump in anytime if you want to say something.
No, I'm listening. I'm letting y'all go.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tori, did you want to say something?
An excellent suggestion, Mario, earlier. You threw in some good. Oh, Daniel took Dan took a break. Yeah, for a second.
And other thing that I would say, I don't know whether it's included in this, is that we take a global view, not a city view. Our perspective on what we're trying to fix is not at the city level, it's at the global level. I don't know whether that's already included in this. I think it is. And that distinguishes it from many of the people locally. Another thing that I would say is that the solutions we use don't depend on short-term cash flows, but instead of on long-term solutions that will continue working, even if we get a different kind of president, Democrat, Republican, and back, or we have a different economic situation because we're in a recession or not. Those cash flows are going to continue to be there because they're built into the whole way we buy and sell electricity. Okay. So in some sense, you could say promote sustainable solutions. And this is where would where is a play on words sustainable here. Sustainable means two things. It means good for the environment, but
Yeah.
sustainable, before we can use the word that way, sustainable means it continues to exist throughout all kinds of things. Doesn't matter whether they had a hurricane last year or we just got $100 million windfall because the Grand Gulf nuclear power plant stopped working for 6 months, which is what was used to fund the most recent decision 2 weeks ago. Whereas the rate design provides cash flow all the time, every day, every week, independent of a windfall from a nuclear power plant. So maybe this is important, or it also makes it longer and therefore it shouldn't be there. What do you think, Dan?
I think all of that is irrelevant, Myron. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. It's keep it short. That's for strategy outside of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mario.
Here's Entergy's mission. It's to power life today and for future generations, creating sustainable value for their customers, employees, communities, and owners by operating a world-class energy business that delivers safe, reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy while building a cleaner future.
Well,
That's nice.
they're
That's a
already wealthy and
long
successful.
second sentence.
We power life. They got a good logo, though. I mean, a good motto.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the model. As a designer, when I was an auctioneer, I worked with some people who worked at Energy for decades. Actually, I know some senior engineers there, and
Yeah.
they actually have a Myron. Since we were talking about pricing, innovative pricing, rate structures earlier, they have an innovation group, that particularly I think around rate design. So it might be interesting to, you know, to see if there are ways to collaborate.
I'm sorry. Who are you referring to when you said they?
Oh, Entergy. Yeah. I was talking to someone who worked at Entergy and they said they have an innovations group that works on pricing rate structures and other things. So
Yeah, we almost got them as a tenant. They were looking for a location to do what they do, which is a little bit of greenwashing, but it's also a little bit of, you never know who's working there. Like you said,
yeah,
you might have good people working in it, innovating and coming up with ideas.
yeah. But yeah, so I would take that first mission sentence, and actually, really, I like the last one. It's a lot cleaner. Um, and what do you think, Myron? We could send it to the discussions group as the output of this meeting.
Well, we're not quite out of time. I
Well,
had
that's
another
true.
idea. Instead of reduce climate change, to save the biosphere. I mean,
No,
No,
no.
it's a little aspirational. What? I don't know. This happens
Biosphere is
in
going to be
philosophy.
here.
Well, in philosophy, people always use, we're going to destroy the climate crisis. We're going to solve the climate crisis, right? And so sometimes if we use more extreme language, it sounds, inspirational, but it might actually reduce our credibility
That's a good point.
if we make it too
Because I think,
strong of a
yeah,
of what we are doing.
Trump does that.
I really like the idea that
That's true. That's true.
that we design and promote, which means that we take credit for our innovation in this assertion. We don't just
Yeah.
find someone else's idea and we mold it into something that will work for us. So,
hmm
so we don't have to take credit for inventing community solar, but we can take some credit for bringing it to New Orleans and mold it into something that works in New Orleans. That
Oh
kind
yeah. No.
Okay. And so I like this very much. Is there something wrong with this? Is it not short enough? Is it too boastful? Is it too vague? Does it have terminology in it that doesn't work for too high a percentage of the population?
No, I really like that last sentence that we came out with.
Is it wrong to say to reverse climate change?
I think it might be taking too definitive a stance
Right.
on what climate change is and whether it's reversible or not. We don't want
Well,
to
you can
maybe
work
get
towards
bogged.
reversing it though.
The word that I
Maybe
used,
it's not totally possible, but
the word
Well,
I used was to slow climate change. Because the probability is if we can slow it down enough, we might be able to accommodate it.
but you
But
want to use dynamic, whatever you end up using, you want to use dynamic words.
so
I
slow is
mean,
not strong enough because slow,
nah.
yeah.
You want to say something like that, but you want to use a dynamic word.
I don't want to
Yeah,
say
you could say,
stop.
you could
Yeah.
say combat climate change or
Yeah.
something, but that's a little.
It's a little
Addresses,
cliche, but it's good. But it's
ameliorates.
better.
Yeah,
We don't
I
want to be combative.
no, you
No, it's
you are
good. I like
combating
it.
because again, you can't argue with combat. You can argue with reverse. You can argue with slow.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
As
that,
you think a
fast
word
as
like
climate
ameliorates,
change is moving, it's best to use reduce. We all know
reduce.
that it is just accelerating at an enormous rate. It's a scary rate.
Yeah.
You can't stop it.
But it isn't a scary rate. ProRate. A rate design. No, I'm just kidding. But
well, I'm going to tell you something. This is very good. It's way better than I expected us to get to. Okay.
sure.
So,
The second sentence should use key terms from this first sentence.
Yeah.
And key terms in this case would be design and solutions. And therefore, that could possibly set up 2 additional sentences.
hmm So
I'm
promotes
sorry.
And
innovative
links,
design
keep
solutions.
linking the mission statement together by the repeat of a critical term. That's how you do. That's how you start a first paragraph of an argument paper.
Now, the thing about the third sentence, it doesn't use the word market or economics.
That's okay.
You could say economic solutions.
Or we could just cannibalize
No.
both of them and say ProRate Energy's innovators design and promote Solutions that engage markets to slow climate change or reduce climate change. Take a little bit of the middle of that second one and
Okay, I need help.
oh, that engage markets would go after solutions.
Okay, so you're saying that, take this sentence,
Nope.
copy it,
Nope.
right here.
Nope.
No. and
Oh,
then-
oh, you're just copying it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're creating a new sentence that at first I thought you meant like paste that into the other, and I was like, oh no.
I'm trying to do something what you're saying. Tell me what you want to do.
Sure. So that engage markets, those three words can go after solutions. And then to reduce climate change. So we can delete slow climate change there. Yeah. Whew,
I
sorry.
think if you're going
I
to
was afraid
say
the whole
that,
sentence
you
would get
almost
over.
have to go one step further and describe what kind of market it is. It's not like a fruit market or a meat market or cheese market. We're not going. It's utility markets. I mean, most people don't think of the market as anything but where you go to make your groceries.
Utility markets might make sense. I just didn't want to repeat energy.
Yeah, no, I think to engage utility markets, at least you're
Utility markets
describing
is
it.
good. Yeah.
And it may be too much, but it may be more precise.
And if anything, we're breaking paradigms of what the utility consists of by being, prosumer and looking at the demand side or supply side.
Right. I mean, it just broadens. It's more specific to what ProRate
What
Energy
kind of markets
is,
we're engaging, yeah.
and the way we view how we interact with all of it, utility
Right.
markets.
And in
We
this case here, that's part of the innovator's duties.
Sure.
And technically, to me, engaging markets should be in the second sentence.
Okay, what I'm
Two
not getting
sentences.
clear in my mind,
Yeah,
are we finding this sentence superior? Is if this is A,
If we put utility after engage, maybe.
and this is B,
Yeah.
but I think that's a good point. Like we could have a really concise first statement and then be able to follow it up with some of the what we do.
Clarifying, yeah.
Yeah.
Myron, could you put utility in front of markets to see how that affects it? The sentence. I think these are really good. These are nice. I like that move to say reduce instead of slow.
Yeah. The other thing and this is a big stretch for the group, is I almost like the idea of calling the group ProRate Energy Innovators, but that may be too long. But I just like, to me,
Yeah.
ProRate Energy sounds like a utility, and ProRate Energy Innovator sounds like an institute.
Yeah, think tank or something.
Yeah.
Would it be too wordy to say reduce the effects of climate change?
wait. I wanna go someplace with Dan said.
Sure.
We could rename ourselves ProRate Energy Innovators. And just as a short, we just keep all calling ourselves ProRate Energy. In
Or
other
just
words,
ProRate.
our ProRate, right? So
Why does it say
ProRate
utility
is,
markets when there are other markets involved, like energy efficiency
It would
stuff?
be PEI instead of PRE.
Energy efficiency ties into utility markets.
Well,
Yeah.
utility, I always think of energy as the utility. And isn't it more
And
than just utility
Thank you, Mario,
markets?
for visiting. Thank you, Mario.
yeah,
And welcome,
thanks,
Dr.
Mario.
Saeed.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Sharon.
Huh?
Most people think of
You know what I'm
utilities.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the way I'm thinking of it is broader, in that it's all the sort of utility markets. So that energy efficiency or any of the rate design or the
Yeah.
whole gamut of changing light bulbs affects utility markets because it changes your bill.
Right.
I know we talked about climate change, which is important, the environment. Would it be odd to say reduce climate change and electricity billing or something like that? Or, ratepayer cost?
I think we should work towards a short initial sentence and then
'Cause
add
the
those things as
climate's
a second and third.
Yeah, see, my thought is the climate is important, but then letting people know we reduce.
That's one of the solutions. Promoting the solution is to reduce our utility bills is one
Yeah.
solution. Got a lot of solutions, but I don't think we can put them in the mission statement. We put them in the second part, but not the initial sentence.
Sure.
Well, it's
That's-
after 9 o'clock, and we
I'll make sure to stop the recording.
I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is our answer one of A, B, C, or maybe A and C, or something like that? Are
We can decide after receiving feedback. I don't know what the difference between A and B are currently.
in the way the distinguish between A and B is the word innovator is not capitalized. And B and C. Okay, so in A, we've renamed the organization from ProRate Energy
No.
to ProRate Energy Innovators.
I'm currently aware. I just think if you send an email out, that might not stand out to someone as if they vote A, they might not realize they're voting to rename the organization.
The organization, indeed.
Yeah.
And by the way, reduce is kind of like not a very dynamic word. So I like the suggestion of combat, but that's used a lot. But you could say fight climate change, counter climate change, remediate, counter. No, I don't like remediate climate change, but
Ameliorate the effects.
alleviate, ameliorate. I don't know. I don't like reduce
alleviate
so much.
the effects. Alleviate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Alleviate. But yeah. There's a lot of. It's tough because it's like, how wordy should we be?
I actually like combat instead of reduce, but combat is a bit of a cliche.
Well,
it's
I
probably
think
used
it's
a lot.
gonna. I think it's gonna attract a certain person who thinks in those ways of
What ways?
Like Earth first.
combating. We're warriors on a mission here, and we're battling, and
That's
we're
good.
well,
That's a
it's
good
good.
thing.
You think it's good? It's good. But some people who read it might not be their cup of tea.
Right. And alleviate is a medical term.
Alleviate ameliorate is what is ameliorate? I'm just gonna look up the exact.
That's too intellectual. Yeah.
It's a lot of syllables and is relatively weak.
I also like effective
It's
How
to
solutions.
about fight climate change?
Yeah, to grow better, to improve the effects of that wouldn't capture the right word. Yeah.
I don't mind fight, Myron.
I like it.
You can put it in there, see what the feedback is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. It's not as cliche as combat. I don't know. I've heard combat
Yeah.
climate change.
It's also one syllable. It improves the.
Yeah.
I also liked counter because you get that alliteration.
Counter it. Yeah.
Counter climate change.
I think what happened over my 14 years or my 18 years of philosophy or 14 years of training is in undergrad, I was using all this like, I'm going to attack the opponent's argument and destroy it. And they'll be unable to. And then in grad school, everyone was like, whoa. Let's cut out all the, we're adjusting the view. We're, things that are
I never
less
say very anymore.
strong. But yeah, so I think that's where my impulse comes in. Like, hey,
all right, guys, I got to jump, but thank you.
Sure.
And I think it was productive. And we'll see what everyone else thinks.
I'm excited about this. This is much improved from I think anything we've worked on in the past. I'll make sure to stop the recording, then we can thank you.